IVM.
Welcome to another week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus talks to restaurateurs Pankaj Shah, Abhishek Kunawar, and Sumit Gambhir of Neighborhood Hospitality. They talk about their past and they talk about their future. They talk a lot more about their future in a new show that we got launching called The Kolaba Cartel. Please make sure that you check that out as well. In a 2-episode special on the Pragati Podcast, Pavin and Hamsini are joined by author and legal expert Rahul Mathan to discuss the Sri Krishna Report and India's tryst with the concept of privacy. On Shunya One this week, we have Vishal Gondal from the Vishal Gondal Show. He takes us through his journey on Goki. And just a quick shout out to all of our listeners. Along with the Kolaba Cartel, we have a whole host of other shows launching this month. So stay tuned to the IVM Podcast app and make sure that you follow all of our new shows as well.
Hi,
You're
listening to IVM
Daily.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of IVM Daily, a show where we talk about what's going around the world and what's going on in their minds. So today in the studio I have with me Abbas.
Hello.
Surbhi.
Hey.
And Jaanam.
Hi.
So this is part 3 in the No Sex in the City series, and we don't have the lovely Rachel Lopez with us today, so Jaanam's gonna be filling in for her.
Woo!
Yeah, so Jaanam is like amazing giver of relationship advice.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually go to her for relationship advice these days.
Is that why you're single?
Once.
Exactly.
You came to me once.
Whatever. It didn't work out, did it?
Yeah. It did.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. Fine, I'm sorry, it did. Anyways, so continuing on this series, the third part is all about actually no sex in the city. It's about rejection. Because we all go on first dates, we meet people, and every single one of our relationships or meetings, they are not going to last forever, except one, which is the final one, which we're going to be in, or when we die. So, yeah.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
I mean, you could die single also.
Or you could die single. True.
Jaanam has
true.
3 cats, so I can see where this is going.
Two.
Only 2 cats.
One cat away from being crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, so we're going to talk about rejection in this episode, more about how to reject someone, when do you reject someone, and how do you know that it's time to reject someone.
Are you also going to talk about how to take rejection?
Yes, we should also talk about that because
God, Abbas, what have you been through?
Me and Abbas over here at least have definitely been on the receiving side of rejection, for sure.
Same here.
I guess, yeah, everybody's been through a little bit of rejection. Not some...
We get it.
No, I have.
Okay, Jaanam has. Okay. Note to self, don't go to Jaanam for relationship advice.
Excuse me, I gave you the best advice. Accept it.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
We need to discuss that advice on air right
Yes,
now.
we do.
No.
Why not?
So, Abbas, have you been on both sides? Have you been both rejected and been the one who rejects someone?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
You want to talk about me rejecting the person first?
Yeah. I mean, I think that has more complexity in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I pretty much made it clear after the first date itself that I wasn't interested, and
How did you make it clear?
Yeah. On the date, before you in person or on text or on call?
On text.
Oh my God.
On text.
But so when I dropped her off after the date, I was like, so this was fun. And she was like, so when are we meeting again? And I'm like, I'll see when I'm free.
Oh no.
That's not...
Oh my God. That's
okay.
First
I made it very vague. And then I just didn't text her back. Does that make me an asshole?
That makes you a ghoster.
No, that's not ghosting, man.
That's not ghosting, exactly.
That's
different.
I mean, if you do get an idea on the first day that this is not going to work out, but I don't know if that's the right way to go about it. Like Abbas is like, I'll see you when I'm free, but you need to drop some hints that, okay, this was fun, but I don't know if we're going to meet each other.
The key thing is the but.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
the
come
next
on,
day I was like,
come on. Abbas dropped so many hints. He dropped her all the way home. Obviously, he doesn't like her. He said it was fun.
Look, it was like 12:30 in the
The girl
night.
should have known
It
there
was
no
12:30
second.
in the night.
Until then, he hung out with her. I mean, the girl should have known there was no second date. Like, that's it with Abbas. If he says it's fun, you're screwed. Shit.
No, so I was like, it was great hanging out with you. I think we can be good friends.
So why did it not work out exactly?
So I spoke about this in the last episode of No Sex in the City, where I said that there was no spark. It just became like a It just became like a menial conversation of what do you do? Oh, so you do this. So like, there was, I don't know. I just didn't feel it.
But do you think she was more into you than you were into her?
Maybe.
That's why rejection happens, right? Like, I mean, technically, if both people are not into each other, they both just stop talking to each other. It's not really rejecting.
No, but still,
anyone.
like on the first date, you still, when you're dropping her back home, and even both of us are not into each other, we'll still have like a conversation. We'll still like express it in some way or the other. Like,
Sure.
I'll probably leave early. I probably won't hang out till 12:30. I'll be like, I've gotta go.
Yeah, you check your phone and be like, hey, like, I need to go. I'm getting.
But that's such a
call
cop
at home.
out. I mean,
Which is, I mean, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
We're talking about cop-outs right now. This was fun. How do I tell her this is
yeah.
not
I'll
no,
see
but
if I'm
that was the
I'll
first
check
time.
my calendar.
The second girl who I didn't think it was going to go ahead. Her I told straight up that I don't really think it's happening.
Wait, how did you say it? Over text?
Looking at the sea on Worley sea face.
At 12:30 in the night, it's God.
It's so
Was
romantic.
it a full moon night?
Were you holding her hands? Was she in your
I
arms?
was actually.
Oh my God! What the hell?
You were holding her hands and we were like,
God.
this ain't gonna happen.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh my God! I can only imagine like she's leaning in for a kiss and Abbas like this is not working out.
No. I can imagine Abbas kissing her and telling her. Like, he kisses her first, like, what to do, beggars can't be choosers. But hey, this isn't working out. You want to kiss again though?
Yeah, but see, so then both, it's a win-win, right? Like, I kiss
What?
you and...
Did you kiss her that night?
No.
Okay.
At least I think I didn't. No, I didn't.
What? I think I didn't. Abbas the player. Like the more you talk, the more you're sounding like a male chauvinistic pig. I love the fact
How
that
is
you
this
started with Abbas first. and
How
not
am I
me.
a male chauvinist
No, but
pig in
Abbas,
this?
I think you should get a tattoo that says this was fun. This was fun, but I gotta go now.
Did you say this was fun, but I gotta go down?
I gotta go now.
Oh, gotta go now. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
But, okay, I'll come to the ghosting bit later when we come to
You
that.
have also ghosted people?
No, I want to know exactly what I did. Does that qualify as ghosting? Is it?
I think it does because I can already tell it was ghosting.
Because in the case I did think I ghosted someone, I just left the city.
oh,
Is that why you're in Bombay?
are you running away from a girl? Oh my God!
If you're listening,
Anyway,
our address is in Car.
Please
Abbas
come
is
find
usually
us,
here.
boy. Yeah.
Monday
There
to
are-
Friday.
There are other people on the panel. Please ask their experience.
Yes. All right, we'll move on from Abbas right now. So, Surbhi, what about you? You have rejected people before, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean,
No. The ouch would be like you've been rejected. Obviously, that would have been the ouch part. If you're saying you have rejected others, obviously that's a compliment, right?
I mean, it's not a compliment really, because sometimes it comes from a friend who you're really good friends with, and suddenly out of the blue, they're like, "Whoa, let's take this forward into something that's." I mean, it doesn't really end well because it's going to become like it starts getting awkward the minute this message is out.
So the reason you rejected was
Because I didn't think I wasn't attracted to my friend.
Okay.
Of course, like we were just friends. And like the minute this thing is out, you can't go like it sounds easy to like step back and be like, cool, let's just be friends, but it's not as easy.
Okay.
People do get a little awkward and this just ends up a lot
But
of
then did the
friendship.
friendship survive?
Nope. Nope, never. And I've tried like a lot of times. I've tried like normally meeting the same friend in a normal setting with like other friends, but it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't
So how did you reject and everything? Wait. This is technically doesn't make sense because did you go on a date with this guy?
No.
We're talking about after you go on a date, like that the intent of meeting was romantic, not just rejecting anyone who comes and asks you if you don't have any feelings to begin with. But like if you say yes to a date, And then
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
rejecting after that, that's a whole different story. So we're talking mostly about that.
Oh yeah, that happened once. So I mean, again, since my previous episode, I've not been on a lot of dates, but I've
Exactly.
been
Yeah.
texting, and I've been again on this app called Hinge. I've matched with a bunch of people, and then you start talking to like 3 or 4 at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So when things work out with one person or like two people, you kind of have your shortlisted people. So you slowly like. Like your texting frequency goes down with the other guys, so they're like,
Yeah,
what?
one person is maybe taking more of your attention
Yeah.
and time than the others. So,
Yeah, and then you just have the mental energy to like deal with one person.
Hmm.
You can't be like, okay, so I'm meeting this person tonight, and the next day I'm meeting this other person. I don't know, like I kind of feel like I want things to like either fizzle out or work out with one person, and then I'll move on to the second one. I can't like do like these things like where I'm on 2 dates, 2 nights in a row. I can't. If it's good working out with one guy, then I'll just try it out.
Cool. So so your basic way of rejecting people, you haven't really had a chance to reject someone after the first date, but after matching with someone, you have
Yeah.
rejected.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by just reducing the frequency of the
text,
texting
yeah.
and reducing the number of words per text.
Yeah, and also
Things like
if
that.
they're trying to make a plan, if they try to make multiple plans with you, just have some like backup plan. Just be like, oh, I work this
So
day.
giving excuses and
Giving
lying.
excuses.
Okay.
Lying is best.
Lying is amazing.
Lying is amazing.
What about you, Jaanam?
So to start off with, like when I was on Tinder, I matched with somebody who it worked out with, and it started going very well. And like when it started going well with that guy, I was already talking to other guys. So I had to tell the other guys that, hey, like I've already found someone.
Oh, you had
So-
this proper conversation that you found someone.
Yeah,
You want.
yeah.
You said that, right?
Yeah, I said
Oh,
like
nice.
I was actually dating this person. So I was like, hey, I have a boyfriend now, so I'm not
Okay.
gonna.
Ooh.
Oh, I love.
that's fine.
This is why I take
But-
advice
but-
from Jaanam.
but-
Oh wait, never mind. I spoke too soon.
It doesn't end there. So
Oh God.
I mean, I was still friends with these guys because they were good people and like we got along. But
Yeah.
it wasn't awkward because luckily they were not, some of these were not from the same city. So,
Oh, so yeah, you
it
don't have
helped
to- yeah.
like not meeting them and whatever, but
Yeah.
just coordinating for work or whatever.
Okay.
So like a bunch of these guys would they knew I was in a relationship.
And still.
They would
Oh, because they're good guys.
every
Because they're good guys.
every 2-3 months they would follow up with like, oh, so
Yeah.
how's
Still?
how's
How's it
how's
going?
your
Yeah,
relationship
just to
going?
check.
Yeah,
It's still on.
You're looking really good in your Instagram pic.
Yeah,
And the next
Who
question is.
clicked it?
No. And the next question is, so are you still dating?
yeah.
Yeah, so the question is super subtle. Like, oh, so how's it going? Like how Jana
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
it's super like, how's it going with
Yeah.
this guy? Because he just wanted to know updates on should I be in line with you or should I get
Yeah.
going?
Yeah, for sure. And I know about this. No, because
No, but then in that case, I mean, you rejected them for a reason because you already had someone in your life.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, rejecting people is a good thing. Okay, the misconception is rejecting someone is bad always. You know, because the whole connotation of rejection is it's negative. But the thing is, the reason you reject is number one, self-respect. Yeah. Number two is you're respecting the other person by not wasting their time. Yeah, that's why when your way of rejection is to alienate them or leave them alone or ghost them or I mean even like not tell them to their face ki like hey this is not working out, anything other than that, I feel you're not really respecting the other person and their time and their energy
Yeah.
and their thoughts. So I mean my main point is that like that's why I said like oh my god Jaanam, you actually said it to those guys. That's beautiful. Those guys afterwards, them checking 3 months, that's their due diligence. That is what guys do. You know, we got to check up. You know, like we got a doctor every 3 months. We message Jaanam also every 3 months. वैसे होता है.
Dentist appointment.
No, but I have. I mean, there were some guys maybe who I maybe didn't like it didn't come up in the conversation that hey, I am seeing someone because they weren't really hitting on me, but they were just talking generally. They weren't really interested in asking me out, but they would just
Right.
message to just be like, hey, you know, how are you doing? What's up? Just
Right.
as a friend. So these people, I would just be like, as in I would reduce the frequency of the messaging, but I would also reply after a
2
really
days.
long time,
Oh,
which
nice.
is like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
maybe.
The same thing that Surbhi was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note, I think we've talked all about how we have rejected people. So we'll be right back after this break. But before the break, I think Abbas has a few words which he's going to share, and then we'll head to the break.
Yeah. I'd like to tell you guys about a really cool app. It's called Haiku Jam. You can jam with other haiku writers, and we've tried it. It's a lot of fun. So what we do is every Monday we guys give you a prompt that you can write your haikus on, and then the best haikus that we come across are read out on our Thursday episode. So today we have a prompt to give, since we are talking about rejection. The prompt for today is rejection is. What rejection means to you, and that can be the starting point for your haikus. The topic again is rejection is, and you can take it from there. So do check out Haiku Jam, download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. And on that note, we'll take a short break and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Vishal Gondal, an entrepreneur. I've had the chance to meet and understand how some of the super achievers have hacked their way to success, and they have done spectacular innovations. Now I take a closer look at these people's lives to find out what lies beneath the force, only on the Vishal Gondal Show. Episodes out fortnightly on Wednesdays on the IVM website, app, or your favorite podcasting platform.
And we are back. So in the first half, my three fellow colleagues over here, they were talking about how they have rejected other people. I just remembered I never told my side of the story.
Yeah, actually.
So before going on to the next side is how we've been rejected. So I'll tell you my thing, how I reject girls.
How to reject girls.
Long story short, I don't reject. No. It has happened that I've gone out on a date or two and it hasn't turned out the way I expected. Usually, the thing is, me and on my normal level, I don't put a lot of effort into conversation on text. Yeah, I prefer calls. So usually, I mean, if I'm going to reject someone, it's usually going to be like, hey, I'm not looking for anything. Yeah, if you still want to be my friend and you still continue talking, sure, but I'm not looking for anything.
So I have a question, like, is there any trace of guilt when you're doing that?
No, because I'm being.
What if
very,
the other
very
person
upfront.
like starts crying or something?
See, the thing is, normally I know if I want to meet this person again or not in the middle of the date. I don't even need to wait till the end
In
of
the
the
middle
date.
of the first date?
Yeah, in the mid, like
Okay.
the thing is, you feel the vibrations, you feel the vibes usually. You know, in the first date itself, you know.
But that success rate can't be 100%, right? There might have been chances where on the second or third date you felt like, you know what, this is
Yeah,
really
so
good.
that's why I don't like to judge and close doors on the first date, but I like to make sure that my ass is covered, you know, in the sense that not all first dates. No, but sorry, bad joke. But I mean, what I mean is that I always like mention it to a girl, like, hey, yeah, I'm going out, I'm meeting new people, and I'm seeing how things go, but I'm not really looking for anything serious as of now, right?
Not looking for something serious and saying that I reject you are slightly different things.
So the thing is, if you go out on a date, right? There can only be two consequences, which is second date or no second date, right? If you go out and you meet a person, and I mean, they might think it's a date and whatever, but once you guys meet, you establish, hey, yeah, sure, we can call this a date, but I'm mostly looking to meet new people and just see how things are. Then the outcome can be a second date, meeting for the second time, or we don't meet again. Right? The don't meet again part happens if you have a problem with who they are or they have a problem with who you are, right? That has nothing to do with romance, right? Second date can happen if in that first date something romantic does happen, you know, like there are sparks flying and you're like, you know what? Forget what I said before. I am interested in something romantic. How about a second date sometime soon? Or you can say, you know, this was nice meeting you. I had fun, and you know, let's just meet again or let's be friends.
So you put the condition out there up front.
I put it out there up front, ki like, hey, you know, even if this doesn't work out romantically, I don't mind meeting again just
Okay.
as people, right? So that actually gives people chance to actually grow and understand each other better or get each other's vibe, because sometimes it takes more than one meet. Right?
I have a question. So I was wondering if you are romantically interested in someone, but the time between your first date and your second date is like really long. What if your first date was 1 month ago? So does it feel weird? Does it like your second date is like 2 months? Are you
guys
later?
talking all the time in that 1 month?
On and off, yeah.
On and off?
But you're not meeting each other in person, and is it?
It all comes down to sexual tension. Yeah. No, it really does. Like, if in that 1 month there is some sexual tension building up, then like that second date is gonna like have sparks in it. Right? If in that 1 month the reason it took a really long time because you're busy with your own thing, he's busy with his own thing, and you guys don't really have time to think about each other, then the second date kind of feels like, we had planned to meet. Okay, I guess I better go because I said I will.
Yeah.
Right?
We should do a separate episode on sexual tension.
I agree.
Oh my
What is
God.
it, and how do you create it, and how do you diffuse it?
You obviously get 2 potatoes and you rub them against each other to create sexual tension.
This is why they say flies before guys. Sorry. Anyways, okay, the second part of our episode, which is all about getting rejected.
You're so happy about getting rejected.
Getting rejected.
Because now it's just not my sadness, it's the sadness of other 3 people in the studio. So, anyways, Jaanam, tell us about the time you got rejected.
Okay, I think there might be multiple incidents, but there's one which I clearly remember because it really hurt. And it was this guy who I liked way back when I was younger. And
God.
I met him 10 years later on Tinder, and when I met him I was like, wow, he came in front of me and I got really nervous, and I was like, wow, like nothing's changed. The way I felt about him didn't change. So we go on the first date, it goes well despite me being really nervous, and then he asked me out on a second date, which also went well. And then he starts ghosting me.
Oh no.
Oh, fishes.
Yeah. And I was just really perplexed. I just wanted like some closure, like why? What went wrong? At least like just tell me. Did you meet someone else? Was it me?
Did you ask him these questions that you're asking us right now?
I wanted to, but he was ghosting me. I would have taken up the conversation.
No, but he was ghosting you when you say hi, hello, and what's up, right? Was he ghosting you? Like did you ever confront him? Because the thing is, ghosting is very easy when the other person isn't saying anything of real value or interest or anything. But ghosting becomes very, very tough when the other person becomes confrontational.
I think I was confrontational. I did ask once, as far as I remember.
Like, why are you not messaging back? Something like that?
Like, not in those words, but something similar. Like, hey, like what, like...
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, no, how's it going? Like,
hey, how is it going? I'm being confrontational over here. Yeah, how is this going?
No, I didn't say how's it going, but I did ask something like, I don't remember what my exact words were because it was like many years ago, but yeah.
Okay, so can you just concisely explain what ghosting is to me?
So the difference between ghosting and texting less or not texting is ghosting involves the other person actually messaging you and you not responding to them, whereas not messaging someone is both people are just not messaging.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. So the curiosity is there from one side, but the other one is just like I don't give a fuck.
The other person doesn't even care that the other person is messaging.
Right.
Like, so does it mean that does ghosting also involve blogging people on like WhatsApp and messaging apps? Is that also? I mean, do you take extensive measures if you're ghosting someone?
No,
like,
but then
I think the whole point of ghosting is like making sure they know that, hey, I can see everything you're sending to me, but I'm not gonna respond.
Yeah.
Get the hint.
Isn't that because I feel like ghosting is just disappearing without any without any justification, which would also mean if I'm blocking
Which
you.
it is. No, but if you block someone, it's a clear signal.
If I meet you, if I go on a good date with you, and the next day I block you, which is like I don't give you any justification. I'm just telling you.
Okay, that is terrible.
We had a good date, but I do not give you any justification and suddenly block you.
No. I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. Okay, if we go on a good date together, you block me. Okay, I'll be like, oh, it was a good date, but I guess not for her. And in your mind, you have closure ki it's not going to work out.
I don't know. I feel like it's...
Why it didn't work out, what's wrong with you? You might not have closure on that, but you and that person, you have closure ki it's not going to work out. They're blocking me. But in ghosting, it is so much more torturous because I keep texting and I'm like, wait, is it because she's busy?
Yeah,
Are my texts not going through?
Yeah.
Is this just a bad time in her life?
Yeah,
Is it me or is it her? Is it me or is it her?
I get it. I get what you mean.
It might work out. It might work out, and you keep that person on the hook.
That's true.
And
maybe
some
ghosting
people-
is when things are going great, and then suddenly this one person stops texting, and that's when you don't have any closure.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, one of the reasons people do ghost is because they keep people on the hook. You know, for example, Abbas is meeting 3 girls. I mean, talking to 3 girls at the same time.
I like this version of me.
Yeah. Much more easier to handle than the 10 girls usually you have. Abbas is meeting is talking to 3 girls online right now. It's going great with one. It's going well with the second, and the third one's going okay. Yeah. The great and the good one, they're not free to meet. Yeah, the okay one is free to meet. So Abbas goes and meets her. They have a decent time. They talk. They take a rickshaw together. They roam.
They go to
Mumbai.
Worli.
They go to. Okay. Abbas then drops her home at 12:30 and says,
This was fun.
This was fun. This was fun.
But how's that ghosting?
Wait, no, you haven't ghosted yet. Let me come to the ghosting part. Yeah. And then Abbas goes home. And he finds out the other 2 are now free to meet whenever. So all his time goes on talking to these other 2 girls. All his energy goes on talking to these other 2 girls.
That's
He
just
meets
survival of
other
the
2 girls.
fittest.
Whoa. Hey, unfit people need love too, okay? No, but I'm just saying, like, this person who you went out with,
Right.
what she doesn't understand is that the only reason you went out with her is because your other better options were
Weren't available.
unavailable. And now when they are available, you kind of stop giving her the attention or you meeting her or anything. And the thing is, you don't block her because there's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
She's not a bad person,
Yeah.
right? And thing is, if these 2 ever become unavailable again,
Yeah,
you
I
can just
go
go out
back
with her
to
again.
her, yeah.
And that's what makes you a douchebag, Abbas.
In conclusion, Abbas,
I'm not sure I agree 100%, but sure, for the sake of argument,
yeah, for the
I'll
sake
go
of
with
the
you.
example, you know,
Yeah.
and that's why ghosting happens, because you're keeping someone on the hook because you have options, and then when you don't have options, you go back to
How
whoever you're
about if
ghosting.
that person is very aware of this fact that he's only coming to me because the better options are not available? Is
nobody.
it
No, I don't know.
She.
Unless you. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think she's aware of this fact because why would she
if
go out?
If she is, if you make it clear that
hey, I have better options, so when I don't, I'll come to you. That woman has issues, son. But no, I mean, I can understand, like saying, like, hey, you know, like, I'll enjoy meeting you, but I'm busy right now. I kind of like another girl, but hey, I like talking to you too. Like, you're saying like that, right? Which is kind of hinting I have a better option, but I like talking to you.
right.
Going on rickshaw rides with you. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So in that case, look, in my opinion, all is fair in love and war, but like as long as you make the other person aware of everything,
Okay.
you know, I think, you know, as long as your conscience is clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My conscience is clear.
Good. That's a vast moment, everyone. So, what about you, Surbhi? Have you ever been rejected, and how?
I feel like like when I was young again, I feel I had this like a thing with a guy from my tuition, which I was super tuition friends. I was such an introvert, so I knew I had feelings for this guy, but I would just I was a constant lurker. I was just waiting for him to break up, or like, so he would come to me and be like, "Oh, my girlfriend did this today," and so I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll listen to you," but like, in the background, I was like, I had feelings for him, and I was just waiting for him to, like, after maybe like a year of friendship, he'd be like, you know what, you're perfect for me. But that never happened. So, like, that's the closest I've got to rejection, guys. Yeah. Otherwise,
Wow.
everyone's like, oh.
Have you texted him recently? You
No.
might want to check.
Are you still in touch?
I know. So now he has, like, of course, like when I like got this whole TV show fame, he got in touch with me. I was like, all right, now I'm not
And
into
you're like,
you
yeah, take
Yeah.
that. Go back to your tuition now.
Yeah. So that's the closest I got to rejection. But otherwise, yeah.
But you rejected him back now.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
so
by
it's
not
like a full
replying.
cycle.
Yeah, it's a full cycle. Yes. Oh my god, I have the upper hand now.
The
Finally.
rejector becomes a rejected.
What about you?
Me? Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, when I was younger, I was very, very scared of putting myself out there because of rejection. And that's why I didn't try a lot when I was younger.
Yeah,
and, you know, like, good looking. And then I grew older, and I realized more and more that, like, rejection doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. It makes you understand what your flaws are. It makes you understand how the female mind works. Like, I have been rejected so many times. I know exactly what a girl does not want.
And what is that?
Me 2 years ago. So I mean, it's okay. Let me think of a rejection story of mine. Well, not exactly rejection, but I remember there was this one girl. Just after talking to her virtually for like a month, okay, because we had 2 different countries at the time, okay, I was telling her stuff like, I think I'm in love with you. I've never even seen this
happens,
girl.
yeah.
It's happened
It's
with me
an
also.
awkward, it's an awkward
You
story,
know?
right?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Why was it
Were you an
them?
awkward? Wait, were you an awkward? Where was this? What social media platform? GChat?
It's awkward.
What was your username?
What the hell is awkward, he says.
my
Okay,
God.
okay, Gaurav, go ahead.
Which century are you guys from? This is Tinder, guys. Come on. This is Tinder.
Awkward was it was a social media platform just before Facebook.
Yeah, it's kind of the
No, he
best.
knows Orkut. He's just pulling our leg,
No,
right?
he doesn't know.
Anyways, moving on. So and then she used to be like, yeah, thanks. And I used to be like, I think I'm in love with you, and she'd be like, thanks, and shit like that. And after 1 month, because I have the gift of the gab, I kind of made her also say it back, that she has feelings for me too, and I was like, booyah. And then we met for the first time after a month.
Was there tension?
On my side, yeah. For her, I was like, I gotta meet this guy. That was we met for the first time, and nothing happened. We just had coffee and we went for a movie and things like that. And I thought, yeah, this went well. This went well.
What did she say? Thanks.
No, she.
This was fun, but...
This was fun, but I like you as a friend.
She said that? Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No, but there's a slight happy ending. Then what happens is the next week, her dad's out of town. She's home alone. And
We'll cut that out. We're not
we get the happy ending. Okay, okay.
So I tell her, hey, since you're not over here, why don't you come over to my place, have some drinks, just stay over. We'll talk as friends.
Oh my God. Look in his eyes as friends, and he
Talk as
winks.
friends. And she said yes, sure.
Yeah.
And then on the day that she's coming over, she's like, hey, I'm super excited for coming over tonight. Can I bring a friend?
Oh my God.
And I was like, ठीक है, हम तीनों friends जैसे ही बात करेंगे. अभी क्या करेंगे? I can't say no, right? So I said, yeah, sure, bring her along too. So she came over too. Nothing happened with the friend, but then me and this Tinder match, some blah 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 blah. Okay, ... And the next day, I kind of told her, hey, we did this kind of stuff, and
Wait, what was the friend doing while the ...
She was sleeping.
happening?
She passed out in the other room.
Okay, did you drug her?
To make this happen, Gaurav would do anything.
Come on, this is going out. People are listening to this. Guys, no, I did not drug her. I just have to make it very clear. Okay? Surbhi, please don't put allegations on me out there. Okay. And then she's like, you know what? This is the first time this has ever happened with a girl, okay? She told me, hey, I enjoy all the fun stuff, but I don't want a relationship. And I was like, no, I want a relationship. I don't want just the fun stuff. And that's the first time I've ever done that with a girl too.
Oh God,
Right.
that's
So
me.
it was really, really weird because she's like, no, then I guess we just be better friends, And I was like, all right, we don't have any of that fun stuff. We just be friends. And then we ended up having a good friendship for a long time.
Cool.
But it was a really weird rejection because role reversal for me at least, because usually I'm the one, I'm like, whoa, fun, sure, relationship,
Yeah.
But yeah, this is different. It was weird, but yeah. So that was my story.
All right.
I hope she doesn't hear this story. Yeah.
So you've been on MSN Messenger, MySpace.
Yes, my MSN, I know.
Do you know
my
GChat?
MSN.
GChat?
Isn't that just Gmail?
Google chat.
It's not GooChat for sure.
But before my rejection, very quickly, I was texting with this girl I matched on Tinder. We were talking. I thought it was going really well, and I was like, "Hey, you want to meet?" And to which she replied, "No, I'm good." And then I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're very meh."
Oh my gosh. I don't want to leave our listeners with that story.
Mic drop.
I don't know.
Mic drop of rejection stories,
Mic
guys.
drop.
I'm so sorry.
Rejection
Then
stories.
did you text her? Did you laugh it off? What did you do?
I thought mine was a good one to end with. Damn.
I didn't want to. I made some stupid joke out of it, but it wasn't funny.
Meh. Meh or tu. I am meh, you are tu.
That's a classic Abbas joke. He would make
yeah.
that joke. Are you still crying inside? Because you seem like you're about to.
I am now.
I'm sorry. We triggered Abbas. We gotta go.
Okay then, so that was our episode. As you guys might have noticed, during the episode people were asking me a lot of relationship advice about a lot of different stuff. So if you guys have any questions for me personally, you guys can DM me on my Instagram. It's AYYA_G. And I got you, son. You know, I'll give you that advice for free.
But you go to advice to Janam. So
no.
might as well just directly.
I mean, therapists also need therapy, so
Yeah, I mean, technically, Janam comes to me for advice.
yeah.
Ooh.
She's like, she can tell you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, if you guys love this episode or have any rejection stories or have any ways to reject people in a smart way or in a clever way, you can share it with us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcasts everywhere. You can use the hashtag IVM Daily. Abbas, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Abbas Momin, on Instagram AbbasMomin88.
And Janam, where can people reject you?
Please feel free, reject me all you want on Twitter at Jaanam Devan.
And Surbhi, where can people get rejected by you?
Oh my god, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at Small Talk Police, and you can also find me on Instagram at surbhi.bagga.
Alright guys, that was our episode. Till then, enjoy No Sex in the City. Bye.
Bye.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, the Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.
Did I just catch you on your way to work? Or did you end up pulling an all-nighter? Let me guess. You have a packed schedule for the day, the week, and probably the month and the year. That's a lot for your mind to handle, don't you think? This buzzing chaos also brings tons of negative thoughts. Am I right? Try spinning that bottle in a positive direction with me, Chetna, on the Positively Unlimited podcast, every Monday on IVM Podcasts. It's time to change your life one alphabet at a time.